Very quick update on the Big Brother 26 feeds as Quinn's HOH, unshockingly, starting to get messy. Yesterday when I recorded the video, it was before Quinn talked to the cameras that he actually wants Angela out of the house. And before I do my usual of, downing every part about Quinn's game because I think he sucks, let's talk about one thing I actually have to give him credit for. And that is Quinn recognizing that Angela is becoming, like I've been saying all week or more, the type of goat in Survivor that can just get dragged to the end for second place because the person dragging her to the end knows they could probably beat her in the end. I do like Quinn recognizing this and now thinking maybe her going home is best for everyone's game because she might just get dragged further and further, and if you're against her on the block, you're going to get voted out of the house. So I will give Quinn credit for that. He's been having a lot of this discussion with others, but I still think he's also telling a lot of people that his target is Rubina. And if Rubina saves herself, then his target will be Chemo as backup. Here's Quinn's problem. It's his first problem, which he never learned, as I expected him not to. I believe I said this a week or two ago, that Quinn's never going to learn from his mistakes because he's starting to do the same thing again, where he just wants to create a bunch of different alliances because he thinks that's going to keep him safe. But all it's going to do is cause him to have to snake people that he wouldn't have to snake in the first place. He is setting himself up for that. Even if he does somehow slither his way to the end, he's not going to get a winning vote, especially when he's really gung-ho about protecting T-Core, because T-Core listened to him last week when she was HOH and didn't put up Leah, and Quinn thinks of that as a big win. But now T-Core has had it with Quinn. She's waiting for after the veto ceremony to try and bury Quinn, but she's also been going on about how in jury she's going to make sure Quinn doesn't win. So as you see, Quinn's game already having consequences. You could only be so messy in a game, and Quinn's messiness hasn't been strategic. It's been messy for the sake of just being messy. He's just that bad at the game. Also, the difference between him and T-Core, like I talked about majorly in yesterday's video, that T-Core sees this season as it has been playing out, that the game is not about these alliances this season. These alliances have been crumbling week after week after week. T-Core has been a part of that. Quinn still wants to make all these alliances with different people, thinking that it's going to keep him safe. But as I just said, all he's going to end up doing is causing his target to either grow again, or he's going to make the end and nobody's going to want to vote for him because he played unnecessarily messy. Also, Cam, MJ, Chelsea last night discussing that they want to push for Joseph to be a renom. And it's good to see Joseph's lack of game finally catching up with him. It's honestly hard for me to wonder how Joseph has made it this far without being nominated, truly. I guess it's because there actually was a point in the game where he was understanding his social game could have been this good floater game. But since then, he's done nothing to build relationships. Since then, he's basically handing his game to Leah, in my opinion. Quinn, in one of his discussions with Joseph, talking about how he wants to make a new alliance, Joseph's like, Leah has to be in it. Leah has to be in it. Ugh. I said at the beginning of the season how I hate the nerd archetype on this show. And we're still forced to watch two nerd archetypes on this show. Both Quinn and Joseph, just total simps for Leah. I'm sick of it. But I mean, good for Leah. It's still protecting her. I don't know how she's going to maneuver this. I still think Leah's game is too one-dimensional for me to give her too much credit. But on a social level, I think, yeah, she's doing good. I had some questions about why Leah was a floater yesterday. And Leah is kind of becoming the quintessential floater in Big Brother because we're now 3 weeks in a row where she is just floating to the power. First, it was Tucker when he was HOH. She was all up in that room constantly trying to get back on his good side. Last week with T-Core, she was all around T-Core the entire week, mostly to save herself from getting on the block, but guess what? It worked. And that's what a floater does. And now, even though Leah has said many, many times that she cannot stand Quinn, she is all up in Quinn's grill, all up because he has power. And Quinn even recognizes this. This is why I can't stand Quinn. He is the person that I don't want to win at all. Any of these other people winning, whatever. There'd be some bad winners. I think MJ would be a bad winner. I'm sorry. But like, he would be the worst winner of anybody left. He recognizes that Leah would stab him in the back at any point, but he continues to try his best to keep her safe. It makes no sense. And he misses the camera because he's weak. Just pathetic. I can't deal with it. We're waiting for the veto to see who will win the veto and to see what move is made. But if somebody wins the veto and takes himself off the block, or if Leah or Joseph win the veto and decide to take someone off the block, I would assume Joseph wouldn't. Leah, I assume she wouldn't want to win this veto if she's actually playing the good of a floater game that we want to say that she is, because then she has to make a decision. She has this final two with Angela. So would she want to take Angela off the block? Maybe, and then that causes problems for Quinn. See, that's the problem with Quinn's game already. Again, is HOH. It's why I said he didn't need this HOH, because he doesn't know how to play this game without being stupid messy. Because he wants to create all these new alliances now. He's already starting to create these new alliances now. But if there has to be a renom, then you already have to maybe piss off somebody else that you're trying to make these alliances with. And I don't know who that person would be. If Joseph doesn't win the veto and say somebody else comes down, and MJ, Cam, Chelsea push for him to put up Joseph, would he do it? I think Joseph would probably freak out. I think Joseph's going to try and be this egotistical control freak and be like, you can't be the one to ruin my record of not being on the block. Joseph is 100% not want to go on the block. So how is Quinn going to convince Joseph to be a pawn? I think he's not going to be able to do that. But I think Quinn also realizes that right now his best bet is Cam, MJ, Chelsea, and that trio. Even though it shouldn't be. Those two are becoming a stronger trio by the day. But I think he would want to listen to them for now. I don't think he would put up one of them. He can then, like I said yesterday, maybe put up T-Core in someone's place. But he's been so gung-ho about protecting T-Core. He's already said he's not going to put up Leah, even though he knows Leah would stab him in the back. We're once again at a point in the game where Quinn's game is just an utter headache. I hate that he's still in the game, but this is what we are left to deal with, is his bad gameplay. I think that's it. I don't have a lot to talk about today. I will, I guess, once again briefly mention last night Chelsea, Cam, MJ becoming a stronger trio, which is just great for Chelsea's game. I mean, that should be her ideal final three, because then either she wins the final three, takes herself to the end, one of them probably win the final three, take her to the end. I don't think, unless MJ continues to grow one brain cell per week, which is all she's been doing, maybe by the end she'll have enough brain cells to think that she can't beat Chelsea in the end and would take Cam. I don't think Cam would take MJ over Chelsea if he doesn't really think that hard either. Like, I'm glad Cam is finally playing more. And I do think Cam is doing a lot better job than, say, Joseph, who still has no game. I do like that people are continuing to underestimate Cam. Maybe I'm underestimating him and thinking that he would take Chelsea to the end in that trio scenario and then lose the game. But at this point, I think Cam takes Chelsea to the end in that final three. And then Chelsea's still working the good relationship with T-Core. Like I said yesterday, my whole point yesterday was not that Chelsea wants to take T-Core to the end, but it's that Chelsea does need T-Core in this game. And just Twitter acting like Chelsea, like T-Core saving Chelsea is a bad thing, just is wrong. It's just flat out wrong. Both T-Core and Chelsea need each other in this game for the foreseeable future, at least until Final Four. Now, do I think T-Core would want to take Chelsea further than Final Four? Probably. But Chelsea, come Final Four, I think if she needs to cut T-Core, she would. Although I do think it might actually be smarter for Chelsea to have somebody else cut T-Core a little sooner, because I don't think Chelsea wants to have that blood on her hands. I don't think she wants to lose T-Core's vote in a jury. And I think Chelsea will be smart enough to think that. But in my opinion, for Chelsea's game, T-Core cannot go for Chelsea's game before Quinn, Joseph, Leah. As long as those three are in the game, even just one of those three are in the game, I think T-Core being in the game is better for Chelsea's game. So there is that. All right, that is all for today. We'll see who wins the veto, which will tell us just how messy Quinn's HOH week gets.